Okay, guys, we are back. I'm here with some very important people. I would like to let you guys know exactly who they are. So I guess if we can start from you, so you can introduce yourself and let people know who you are and what it is you do.
My name is Samuel Enyankusi from Agogo, and I'm head of the Asante called Abusia Penny. I'm also a resident in the United States of America, precisely in Woodbridge, Virginia. Professionally, I'm a financial consultant. I'm also a farmer.
My name is Nana Boachi Yadom. I'm from Agogo.
Okay.
And the chief linguist to Nana Kwame Ekwekusapo, the paramount chief. And I'm a farmer.
Okay.
And also a chief.
And you're the chief of this area?
No. I'm the chief of all the linguists to Nana Kwame Ekwekusapo.
Okay.
Nana Kwame Ekwekusapo is the paramount chief.
Okay.
And he has linguists, and I'm the head of all the linguists.
Okay, right.
As the chief linguist.
All right. Okay. And you, Mr. Nana.
All right, we'll take that Mr. off, and I'm Nana Kofi Tuda. And I have, what makes us important is the service that we have committed ourselves to render. So I have two responsibilities. One, I'm empowered and committed to being what's called the Nkonim of the town of Agogo, which is our common affiliation. Nkonim means unity. And the paramount king, Nana Kwaku-Sapon, in 1995, cultivated me along with the elders and the citizens of Agogo to be the unity chief with the responsibility of connecting the brothers and sisters back in America, starting with Philadelphia, and it's growing beyond, to their ancestral roots, whether they be Akans or other ethnic groups. And then the other capacity is in the U.S. because we put the family structure together by people realizing that they were actually Akans, even though they were born there, that they established themselves as the family unit. And then they decided through the elders of the families and the families themselves decided that it was time for leadership. And so the jurisdiction and authority to be the Asante Kurom, which is Asantevictorytwn in Philadelphia and by extension in North America, is my other capacity. So those two things are how I find myself today.
Okay, great. All right. So I have a few questions that I like to ask you guys. So what are the missions of Asante Nkonim Kurom?
Well, I'll speak as the chief of Asante Nkonim and then open up the floor because it's a connected mission. We have a twofold focus. One is to ensure that we establish a Asante kingdom, Asante nation on the shores of North America that is connected to our brothers and sisters here on the ground. And in doing that, again, we say we come from kings and queens, which I understand why we say that, because when we really understand, and we call them Ohenis or Ohemas, because sometimes kings and queens throws up that European image,
right,
whereas we're really servants of the people. But we are grounded in ensuring that we go back as far as we can go to get the wisdom of our ancestors and institutionalize that as our Asante nation building process. And then as an extension of that, ensure that we share with our brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora and definitely in North America what we have been blessed to come in contact with and how we connect with the town of Agogo so that it becomes our sister city now. So the jurisdiction and authority is here for Agogo citizens. The jurisdiction and authority is there in North America, but we're connected through the bloodline and the clan system.
Okay.
So that is the mission of Asante Nkonim. It's a twofold mission.
Right.
And we are here to assist every town, every city in America where we have Africans. You may not be Asantes, you may be Yoruba or Igbo, but once it's revealed to you, your bloodline, you have to organize yourselves where you are with the same systems that are here and the systems that we've established. And we're here to help our brothers and sisters do that.
Yes, we are. Okay.
Well, let me add that we have not forgotten that some years ago, our brothers and sisters were taken away from us to live in the diaspora, America, Britain, and some other places. And we realized that it is beneficial for us to get touched to our base. We go back to our base. There should be that kind of unity that existed before we were taken away.
Yes.
So that is why we have a symbol called Sankofa, which means go back and fetch. So since we lost touch with our base, it is important that we should realize that we should get back to our brothers and sisters. That is, in fact, the number one mission. All other related issues or other missions are to promote the first mission of getting back to our base.
Right.
Kofi, you also share about the need on both sides.
Yes, see, we got involved in this movement and this process through Nana, his own vision. Because Nana, I recall, started coming to Agogo, Ghana at large, around about in the 80s. Occasionally, I would meet him in the streets somewhere, and he would just go to the chief palace and out. As time went on, we realized that he was trying to search. He wanted to go deeper and have a clear understanding of the culture, the tradition. So I could see that in him. And each time we came into contact and there was an engagement, I could see Nana struggling, trying to find something. So that attracted me to him. And since then, the indication was that he'll come here, occasionally spend a few days, and he'll go. The time came, Nana, I think your mission should go beyond that. Okay, because here, the reasons why we have townships was that people will move and settle in a new place. Whoever settles there first really becomes the royal, because they will establish the township or the village, and they start working, and others will come later and join them. And then a township unfolds, comes out of that. And it seems your mission, you try to also get your brothers and sisters to also join you to understand it. So why don't you establish your own township in Philadelphia, so you can live all the traditions over there here, not just a few holidays that you come over. Right. This is where Nana really started to make this move and make it broader. And he caught on. So he came to swear the oath to Abubuhine for him to become a chief of Nkonim Kurom. That's how Nkonim Kurom emerged. He became the chief of Nkonim Kurom. Meanwhile, he was also conferred and installed as Nkambom unity chief because of his contribution to the traditional council and the community. So you could see his mission and couldn't just stand by, because we also have some ulterior benefit, in the sense that when we say Sankofa, going back, it's much deeper than the way we say it. It requires you to investigate. It requires you to challenge, have some intelligence, okay, and have a deeper understanding of what it was before. And then as you try to go back and collect that, I mean, you want to make sure you get the right stuff, so it doesn't get complicated. So the mission, as Nana articulated, I mean, it's much, much better if they leave it over there and they come here. And then the other dimension was also the link, establishing the clan system, because he aligned himself with the clans. So everyone belongs to one of the eight clans in the Ashanti. And I said, Nana, it may be a good idea You have Nkonim Kurom citizens also aligned there. So that at least you will leave it here.
Yes.
You will celebrate the Day and everything. And he's done all of that. So it's amazing.
Yes.
So to us, when they come here, they are going to align themselves with their families here. They are going to learn from the global exchange. They are going to learn from the experience and business. Right? There's so much opportunities that in abundance for us to support. And even Atonana is going to help us on the continent to also go back, because I think we've lost some track.
Right.
We have.
Mm-hmm.
So that is also going to remind us to again take another look as to what the original intentions and purposes of traditions really look like. So, I mean, I'm so fascinated that he's making history.
Yes,
Big time
yes.
history. I'm happy that we met here today so that we can propagate, so that a lot of the African Americans back in the US can understand what he's doing, so they can start doing this in Tennessee, okay, in Chicago.
Yes.
So you go there, you see a Ghanaian or whatever tribe they find themselves. They practice it right there.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, it's very laudable. So we are so excited.
Awesome.
And I just want to, because it's very important that we bring this forth in a way that it gets understood by our brothers and sisters, and even those here. My Abusi Apani, he's my family elder here on the ground. I'm an Asante, he's an Asante. But what he referenced was a swearing in, which means you're swearing an oath of allegiance to a superior, one who is over you. So the paramount king of Agogo, Nanakoku Sapon, swore allegiance to the King of Kings, who you saw in the picture, the Atumfo, Nana Osei Tutu the second. And when I swore an allegiance as the Nkonim Hene, I swore it to Nana Sapon, okay, because he installed me, and my jurisdiction and authority is under him in Agogo. But what must be understood is my swearing in as the Asante Nkonim Hene, it was done here to give those brothers and sisters that we organized ourselves back in America. It was actually my Abusia members and my family elders that came here, and I swore in before them, but I did it to honor Nana Sapon, you understand? But I didn't swear into Nana Sapon, because that would mean that Asante Nkonim has an allegiance to Nana Sapon and Agogo. We are connected as family, but the allegiance there is with the hierarchy that we're establishing. So it's very important, because a lot of people think that you come here and somebody installs you or gives you some capacity, and you go back to America, and that has jurisdiction and authority and empowers you back there. No, the people there have to have the system in place, and then they empower you if they want you, if the spirits decide that you are their leader. So I wanted to clarify that.
Well, let me also chip in here. I forgot to mention I was also a World Bank consultant. I worked with the government of Ghana on urbanization. So I went deeper, working with various local government, local communities. And it dawned on me clearly that most of our tribes have lost what the original traditions were. Dawned on me. Everywhere I visited, I could see that. So Nana is really bringing something that will benefit even those of us on the continent, for us to really go back and set and make sure are we doing things right. Why were our forefathers doing things this way or that way? To remind us that let's go back, because I think there's so many things that we have gone off track. So his purpose, his mission is actually pulling all of us to go back again ourselves, okay, and see where we have lost track, and see our set values, our principles, our traditions, all of these things we are now revisiting. And recently, we lost one of our sub-chiefs within our family. And the role he played in trying to bring, install a new person in his place was phenomenal. He did it so well. And that was a big learning curve for him. And he also reminded us of so many things that we may have overlooked.
Right.
So I think his mission really needs all the support from all of us, particularly in bringing African Americans back home so that there's a complete unity and the benefits are mutual.
Yes.
Very mutual.
Exactly. Okay. So, what makes this mission relevant not only to Akans and Asantes and Agogo in Philadelphia, but to Africans worldwide?
Well, I think Mr. Nyakusi mentioned something like that of that nature, that this mission, which Nana Kubituda has started with some of us on board, is really going to help our brothers in the diaspora come together in unity. I was saying that we have lost touch for so many years, but we realize that we must be able to come together, get unite, related, for the benefit of all of us, not only those people living in Ghana or in Africa, but those people living in the diaspora.
Right.
I think there isn't any specific thing that will help us make a headway in the mission that we have set for ourselves. There are a whole lot of things that will help us actually cement the unity that we're trying to bring together. Some of those issues are like Mr. Yankusi mentioned. We have traditional relations. How they are built is a means of bringing unity, peace, and development, amongst people. So in Ashanti, for example, we have maternal inheritance, and then we have clans, about 8, with of which each one has a totem. This totem has an ancestral or historical explanation for the adoption of a kind of bird or animal. And when you look into or read into these ancestral explanations, you come together that it is a means by which our ancestors adopted in order to come to bring people together for the benefit of a certain section of our people, because we have 8 totems, and each of them represent a clan. Like he was saying, my brother was saying, the Asene has a bat. And if you want to know why they adopted the bat, they will be able to explain to you why that clan adopted a bat as the totem. Just like the other clans, I am Asuna. We have the crow as our totem. And if we want to explain all these, you will come to realize that those people who come together under the Asuna clan have some kind of belief, and some of them are beliefs that we should not, falter. Otherwise, you find yourself in trouble. So this kind of coming together with some basis or mission to realize is beneficial to both of us in Africa or in Ghana and in the diaspora. Because it is not everywhere that this kind of system exists.
Right.
So it is important for us to put things together and then take the benefits of all those which have been put together. My brother was saying that we have to revisit some of the traditions and make changes. If we don't do that, if we don't come together and then put things together and make evaluations, we definitely will not be able to find a better way forward.
All right. Great.
If I may just couch it in a way that captures what Nana says, where an example would be that African culture, as it's called, is generic. So what we have to offer are the principles that make up African culture, which are all designed to build good character and to grow elders that are wise and able to serve themselves and their communities on all levels, physically, emotionally, mentally, economically. But we also have these specific aspects as an example through the Akan and the Asante. And the way that these systems work is that you have individual fingers that have a function. So you can wiggle the finger. The finger has the ability to do certain things and it's functional. But then there comes a time when you need to make a fist. And so when you have 8 clans that function as individual fingers and they make a fist, then we're able to accomplish as a collective what we were not able to do as individuals. The last part of it is that those universal principles that make us all Africans that are born, truly African bloodlines, the principles have to be made applicable to wherever you are, to your climate, to your environment. So even though you have that static aspect of culture, you have to have the dynamic aspect of culture that makes it applicable to who you are. So even though we practice the same principles, we manifest it a little differently in Philadelphia, but not changing the essence of what it represents. And it's a process because those, folks would say, well, we don't do it like that here. But if you study it, the principles are there, but we have to make it fit who we are. And everyone else has to do that wherever they are.
All right. Okay.
Let me also add in regards to the benefits. To the ordinary Ghanaian or African, once they see the diaspora, be it white or black, the only thing that comes to mind first is how they are going to bring money. Okay? They are going to bring money. I remember when we were children, when we see the white doctors walking through the streets, we shout, Oboni, James Carr, give me money, Oboni.
Yes.
So that mentality is still there with the ordinary Ghanaians. So people like my brother, when he comes around, the first thing that comes to people's mind, oh, he's bringing money. So we here have a big responsibility to alter that. But ultimately, once they have a space here, we are mindful of the fact that they have resources, okay, that they can bring and invest for all of us to benefit from that. You cannot dismiss that. That's a very important aspect of the relationship. So that's a true benefit that will be derived if we do it well. But we have a role to play to get our people to understand and appreciate that our brothers and sisters left us long time ago. They find their roots coming back. You have to welcome them wholeheartedly and open up for them. It's not just the money they are bringing. So to me, that's where the benefit comes.
Okay. The Sankofa bird, which is the and Dinka symbol, which has origins in the Akan culture, has become like a universal African concept. Can you share, like, what is the significance, the significance of that symbol? What does it have for us?
Well, I think that for us to move forward properly, wherever we are, whatever we realize in our lives, we must be able to re-examine and find out whether we are on the right path or on the wrong path. And at that point in time, it is important that you look back and pick the pieces which you left out which would have helped you to move forward better.
Mhm.
So the Sankofa symbol is there for everybody to re-examine himself, his work, his intelligence, his whatever in life, and then come to pick the pieces, build it together, and then move forward properly.
Mhm.
This Sankofa symbol, which we have here in Africa, in Ghana, which is an Adinkra symbol,
Mhm.
gives us that opportunity not to move forward like, excuse me to say, a robot
Mhm.
without re-examining examining yourself to find out whether you're going the right way or not. So that symbol is very important
Mhm.
in the course of the mission that Nana Tuda and some of us have set for ourselves.
Okay.
And then for our brothers also, that if there was a mistake somewhere else, there is always the opportunity for you to look back and then make corrections. Our brothers, like I said, were taken away some years ago.
Mhm.
So it is important that they sit up and then find out, oh, why were we taken away? Can we relate with our brothers, with our brothers that we left behind?
Mhm.
And that is the Sankofa. If you look at that issue and come to realize that it is very beneficial, you go back and pick it up.
Mhm.
It is a very nice symbol that educates, some of us.
And in addition, if you look at the image of the bird, it's, as Nana has pointed out, is a bird whose body is moving forward
Mhm.
in the present and moving forward. Its neck is turned to the
Mhm.
back, which is the symbol of looking back to our past. Many people miss that there's an egg in that bird's mouth.
Mhm.
And that statement is saying that when we look back, everything in our past is not to be embraced and brought forward in the present and move into the future.
Mhm.
As Yabusi Apeni and Kofi Anyankusi has pointed out, we have to be very discerning. We have to be able to look back at those things that work for us. And by the way, our message is for African people, all right?
Mhm.
It has to be for African people. Every
Mhm.
culture, whatever their focus is, they have to work that through. But we have to understand that we, generically as Africans, and then specifically as cultural expressions, whatever that may be, has to go back, fetch that. And you got to way back before 400 years because we fell before on the continent, you see?
Right.
So we have to go way back. But then in doing so, again, getting that egg, which represents that which has life, it's fragile. So an image of an egg, a hand holds it. And if you hold it too loose,
Mhm.
it will fall and break.
Mhm.
That's what culture. If you hold the culture too loose,
Mhm.
it will break.
Mhm.
But if you squeeze it too tight, it will also break,
Mhm.
which means it has to be dynamic. You can't fix yourself in one expression of it and have it work for you.
All right.
The reason I point out this African thing, because even though we're the first
Mhm.
and we gave birth to civilization, which means how do you organize people to be civil
Mhm.
and then make that effective? But I just heard the other day where a mayor in Canada, a female who is Asian, has adopted Sankofa as the slogan for their town. And
Really?
she's translating it out for it to mean that the Sankofa bird means that we all come together in this multicultural way so that we go back together, embrace our past, and
Really?
go forward together. Huh?
Hmm.
Everyone has to look at their past. Huh?
Mhm.
When we look at our past, we can go back and see the glory of Africa. Other people, not so much.
All right.
So we cannot fall prey to these misapplications of our sacred symbols and the missions that we have.
Right.
Just let me add this. And I think Chairman made a good submission in regards to explaining what the sacrifice is. But when I look at it carefully, we've had this symbol for a long time, but it has become more meaningful when the African Americans started coming over. They have got more meaning Sankofa to all of us. Because in our part, Sankofa, that's when you are having a conversation and you miss a phrase or something, then you have a proverb say, oh, when you go back and restate it, it's no taboo, Sankofa. So you can go back and correct yourself.
Right.
We were using different varieties. But the African Americans, our brothers in diaspora, when they started coming and realized that symbol, Sankofa, it made more meaning and more relevant in their case. Okay, so, and it's re-echoing that also to us. It's not just the original, Sankofa, that kind of use of Sankofa. We have really also embraced and come to the realization that the Sankofa symbol goes much deeper. That we all have to go back and see what it was there before. Make sure we can also readjust ourselves to make it more meaningful. The important aspect for us here on the continent is poverty has changed so many things for us. Our fathers lived very well. They were all families, they didn't need anything. So you could see people were sincere, people were very honest, and they are truthful, the respect was there, the tradition was practiced to the letter. But we also have to admit that challenges of our time have changed some of these dynamics. And we have to appreciate that and see how we can address that. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Okay. Why did you build a sustainable compound in Ghana and call it the Asante Nkonim Kurom?
Embassy.
The embassy, yes.
It's very straightforward that once you understand jurisdiction, authority, and the respect and protocols when in someone's land, even though we're home, generically as Africans, there is still jurisdiction and authority. Where this structure sits, the town is Swedian. Where we are affiliated is Agogo, which is a half a mile away.
It's not a train town.
But it's two different towns.
Right.
There is a chief here. He's deceased now, but there is a structure here. So every town has its own, political family. They're connected as families. We're all Akans and Asantes, but they have different authorities based on their jurisdiction. So therefore, when we established our jurisdiction in America as Akans, we said we wanted to reconnect in real ways, have infrastructure, so that when we come, as my brother mentioned, I would come and go stay at the palace. He told me, he says, you're not going to meet too many people in there. That's a lot of pressure inside the palace.
Right.
So you got to come out with the people, you see?
Right.
So we've learned that, and we haven't built some African born in America community off somewhere. It is here with the people. But his title is Kuntaheni. He is the second in command under Nana Koko Sapong here in Agogo when Nana's not available or whatever. And when he came to visit and see what we were doing here, he said to me, he says, Nana, this is not your palace. You know that. You can't have a palace as a Asante Nkonim Heni on somebody else's land.
Right.
This is not a home or a house, what they call a fie. We used to call it the Sankofa fie, the Sankofa house. He said, this is an Asante Nkonim embassy, because what y'all are doing here is sovereign to the mission that you have in America. So when you're here, we can pour libation with water instead of alcohol.
Right.
We don't condemn anybody for doing it the way they do it. But our Sankofa journey has us pouring it with libation with water. But we don't criticize. So the point is that the vegan environment, here we have a vegan, and then we have a meat eating environment. We don't come here to watch sports and drink beer. We come here to take care of serious business. So this is our embassy. This is where, we come, we stay, we connect, but we have the integrity of what we represent here on the shores of Ghana in Shridium associated with Agogo. So that's why it was told to us, and we embraced that. This is an embassy.
Right. Awesome.
Well, just to add a little bit to what Nana has, said. We're trying to come back. Our brothers and sisters are trying to come back to where they left, so many years ago. They're coming back to their base. In fact, they should have a place to stay.
Mm-hmm.
They should have a place to learn. They should have a place to adapt certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, if they don't have a base, like an embassy,
Mm-hmm.
where will they be? They will be scattered around.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Brother Yankusi said that initially, he realized that Nana was on a mission,
Mm-hmm.
but he was something like hanging around.
Right.
So we must have a base for those people that we want to bring together
Mm-hmm.
to Africa or Ghana or Agogo in particular.
Right.
So it is very good that we should have an embassy here.
Mm-hmm.
It could have not been a very suitable place for an embassy in New York,
Right.
in Philadelphia. They are already there,
Mm-hmm.
but they want to come together here.
Mm-hmm.
They want to come back to their base.
Mm-hmm.
So if they should come back to their base, where are they going to be? Where are they going to learn? Where are they going to adapt?
Mm-hmm.
Certain things.
Right.
So I think this is an ideal place for such a embassy to be built.
And it has to be very clear that this isn't an African American domain.
Mm-hmm.
This is an African place
Mm-hmm.
that is facilitating unification.
Mm-hmm.
We're not sitting off by ourselves. We're understanding and working to ensure that land issues and how the chieftaincy functions
Mm-hmm.
and how the families function, that we educate our
Mhm.
brothers and sisters, because there's some very damaging occurrences that have
Mhm.
taken place.
Yeah, I've heard of a few.
You've heard of a few. You
Uh-huh.
see, and going back even 25 years ago,
Uh-huh.
it's because people weren't properly aware. They came to the motherland and they wanted to embrace, and the people wanted to embrace them. But
Uh-huh.
because they didn't Sankofa, they did not bring character, they did not bring those things, awareness and education and intelligence, and have these things at the forefront
Uh-huh.
of their return. Now it's some very dangerous things in terms of land disputes and just people at each other's throats that should be together.
All right.
So this is part of our mission. That's why we're building. Why didn't we build a museum and pavilion in New York or Philadelphia? It's because we want to catch the motivated
Mhm.
Africans that are
Right.
already coming to get the connection with the motherland
Right.
and
right.
catch them. And then we're training the trainers
Mhm.
so that therefore they go back and organize themselves in their communities. I watched one of your videos. I watched several of them. But the two brothers from Ohio,
Mhm.
they had some experiences and whatever, but it didn't kill their desire.
Mhm.
But they
Not at
need to
all.
be surrounded. The
Mhm.
brother that, and I have to give a shout out, the brother
Quick.
Kwaku Townsend,
Mhm. Taliban.
Tolliver, brother Kwaku Tolliver, who was the one that actually, you're at the same table, but he brought us together.
Mhm.
And again, the conversations that we had, he's in Houston, Texas. You
Mhm.
see, we just had a sister in Washington, D.C. that became not everybody's going to be an Asante. We don't recruit. We're not trying to get membership.
Right.
We want to educate in a generic way and
Mhm.
let your spirit reveal who you are, but then help you organize
Mhm.
in America
Right.
so that you can live as Africans in your communities where you live.
Mhm.
So that's why they have said so much about it. But just to add a little bit of additional. No, this is an embassy for sure, but I also call it a learning center.
Mhm.
Okay, so you come here, it's a museum, and they are going to see the real culture being practiced
Right.
over here. So they see here, they around themselves when they go to town, just like Nana said, I coaching me some time ago. You can understand the people when you come here, you are in the palace.
Right.
Go out there and be with the real people. That's where you learn. And I think this facility is going to play that role.
Mhm.
Here, they'll feel very much at home. Their brothers and sisters will come from town and the mental out. So this, to me, a real, true learner center, whether you call it embassy or not. But that, to me, that's what it is.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
we want people to claim this, We've done collectively the work to have this here for you. The museum and pavilion, which is coming up right across the road there, is something that all of us have to claim. We all have to ensure that that happens. So I'm saying the brothers and sisters that come, once they benefit and experience what is beneficial for them, then that would be the expanded functionality in a much broader way, tied in with tourism, but just not tourism for the sake of tourism.
Right.
So just wanted to.
All right. My last and final question. How do we see Asante, Nkonim, Kurom collaborating with We Belong in Africa in the future?
I've passed on some of your links and your link to your site to our brothers and sisters both here and in America. When we first came together, and it definitely was spirit driven.
Definitely.
And this was just on Friday, just passed in Accra. That we touched base, our spirits resonated, we shared very quickly information, and then you revealed your site. And you said, I'd like to, look into maybe interviewing, in terms of what you guys are doing. And then we both took pause. You said, well, look, let me take a look at your website first. I said, let me take a look at what links you have.
Right.
And then for me, I go deeper from a spiritual standpoint. We do oracle readings and we looked into it. And everything came up to bring us here today.
Exactly.
It's not just an emotional response. We looked into it. However, what we are realizing is that there's a hand in glove, not just with you, but with all of us. We all have something to offer and we can all augment each other. So the information that you're disseminating about how to use, basic needed information about the CD and how much it stretches here, the US dollar, or people's experiences, building, or whatever it may be, even nightlife. All of that is part of the experience. So again, what we have to offer is, a aspect of it that is the foundation. With that, then we can build together. So we see going into the future where, again, you have folks like, say, Ohio, Houston, Texas, that is your listening audience. They're coming, and we can collectively give them the information that will help them, whether they're relocating or whether they're just getting deeper to go back and institutionalize it, which they all should be doing. We can work together to accomplish that. Economically, the more hits and the more visibility you get, the more that empowers you and your mission economically. Through our website, we're building marketplaces, we're designing product, we're doing this, that, and the other. So as we all, Brother Odrifo, he has a site that will be instrumental. So the more that we collectively using the technology, to be able to reconnect us, then we can go into the future, just not as a one interview, but as a part of our collective mission to serve the people that we have both not only said, but demonstrate that we're here to serve, which is African people. So that's the future that I see in our relationship.
I love it.
Okay. All right, let me add this before we disappear from here. I've shared with Nana a number of times, maybe not sharing, but encouraging him, because I know what he has set out to do is historical. I've told him we may not even realize all the gains and the efforts he has put in place or he's been working on until sometime in the long after he's gone. But the pillars must be there. The people are maybe 100 years from now, when most African Americans have realized and have come here and then leave the culture back in America, somebody will be asking, who started this? When he said there was one Nana, Leonard Lewis, who was in Kabumin of a town called Agogo in the Ashanti region, and also established a township in America called Nkonim. He's the guy who started all this process. So I've been hounding him, go out there, let people know what you're doing. And he said, I'm not going there.
I don't say that, but go ahead.
Yeah, but he's doing something. So the future is that the conversation we're having today, I'm sure it's going to go out there. And people, there are a lot of African Americans who come here every year and go,
Mhm.
just like you were doing before.
Mhm.
But when they begin to understand and realize what Nkonim is doing,
Mhm.
I bet you everyone is going to move into that direction. So
Yes.
the future looks very bright. My caution is that there are challenges. He now knows the challenges. And the challenges have to be managed.
Mhm.
Every journey that you embark upon, you are going to meet challenges on the way.
Mhm.
And your ability to manage the challenges and make it successful, to me, is what will make a difference
Mhm.
between the difference. So I'm very hopeful, I'm very encouraged, and on our part here on the continent, we provide all the necessary support that we have done before,
Mhm.
and also going forward to ensure that. But there's so much to benefit if our brothers and sisters in the diaspora find a way to embrace all what we have been promoting, so that we all come together, there's unity, okay, there's collaboration, and then the business opportunities will follow. So I'm very hopeful for the future of this process.
Well, I would say that it is not easy to accomplish a mission,
Mhm.
and it hasn't been easy at all for this process. Nana Kofi Tuda and some of us have come too far, or a little bit too far. But the thing is that we cannot rest on our words unless we achieve the goals that we have set for ourselves.
Mhm.
They cannot be realized in a day. It has to continue because it is not going to, we're not going to convince all the people at once or at the same time.
Mhm.
The process, whilst it continues, will definitely win some people to our side in terms of the mission that we have set for ourselves. And people will get away
Mhm.
from the process. But the thing, or what I'm saying, is that we cannot rest on our words. We have to continue until the final achievement is made.
Mhm.
Like my brother said, even not at the time that we continue to live, but whilst we are away, we may have some people who believe in our cause to continue.
Yes. Yes.
Well, my closing remarks, and I have to put in context what my Husiapanin said. This work is definitely driven from spiritual places. It's ancestral driven,
Mhm.
but ancestors work through people. And being people, we're subject to the laws of physicality. So you have so much time, you have so much resources, you have so much energy, and so we've been used to functioning in such a way that when we have something that we need to write it in a book,
Mhm.
get it out there. You know, we need to jump on a plane or get on a train and go to these places so that we spread the word. So I'm very much connected to and committed to ensuring that what we've been blessed with gets out there to our brothers and sisters.
Mhm.
But we also have to understand the role that technology plays in our process. And we have to understand the concept of a magnet. A magnet, people know it draws things, but what they don't really understand is it has two polarities.
Mhm.
It attracts, but it also repels.
Mhm.
So the spirit leads us to understand that we have to move to a point where we're attracting that which we're supposed to have, and don't chase after that which is being repelled.
Right.
And that is what brought us together. It was a magnet.
Mhm.
You weren't looking for it, I were,
Right.
and it came together.
Mhm.
So I just say that we are, committed to promoting this. I say to your listening audience, and I say to Africans throughout the diaspora,
Mhm.
that if you know of another, not just Asante kingdom on the shores of North America or anywhere, whether it's in the UK, wherever Africans are gathered, if they have organized themselves to empower themselves with the way that the system is set up, to having the family system, to having the elder system, and then the governing bodies and the priest class, if it's there, I will get on a plane and travel. I will sit at their feet to learn.
Right.
We've looked for it. But if it's not there, then that puts the weight on us to ensure that this foundation that we're laying becomes something that is not the best hidden secret. And that's what we're doing here together. I want to thank, first of all, we say Yami and Yami Wa. Part of what we do, and this is through the brother Adriafo, Kwesi Ra Nechem Fatah Akan. He brings back this body of wisdom to talk about it was always yin and yang, male and female. So whereas people will say Yami, which means God, in a male portion, we say Yami and Yami Wa, which is the female. So it's that complement, male and female. So we first thank Yami and Yami Wa for the blessing of being able to be here today. We thank Nananum and Samafo, which is the honorable ancestors that whisper to us and that open up the way and give us the opportunity to act upon the ancient wisdom. We say thank you to Nananum Panifo, which are the elders, because without the elders, we're nothing. We say thank you to the Abusi Akor, and I'm speaking in the tree language, but this applies from other cultures, to the clan system that enables us to organize ourselves. I say Madasi Pa to Abusi Akor, which are the people, which all cultures are the foundation. We say Madasi to Asase, the Pa, the good land that gives us the ability to grow and to sustain ourselves. We respect it. It is a spirit. It sustains us, and we sustain it. We thank Nana Koko Sapong for his revealing himself to us in 1982 and opening up the door for this to take place. We thank Nana Borchiyadum and Kofi Anyankusi specifically, but as a generic thank you to all of the chiefs and the elders and the families and the clans, male and female, that have supported and embraced us. We say a big thank you to Asante and Kurom, Abusi Akor, Abusi Afor, family, clans, our ancestors, Asante and Kurom's, Nananum and Samafo, that if not for them, then this would not be possible, because we would not have been able to establish ourselves as an Asante nation on the shores of America. So we all are thankful. I don't want to start mentioning name, because you'll be here all day and you always live someone out. But generically, I think I've called out all of those that are a part of this, unseen and seen. We thank you, my brother, for being who you are, for having the consciousness. I've met you in Accra, then you went back to your home. I called again, you was at the Black Star, back in Accra. Right. Serious on your mission. And so therefore we support you and we encourage your listening audience. Seek us out. Our website is Ankh, A-N-K, victorytown.com. That's A-N-K, VICTORYTOWN.com. And I'm sure Brother Kwesi will give his information. And we want you to reach out to us. No matter where you are, we're here for you to answer questions, to help you facilitate your journey, not just when you travel here, but as you live in America. So we say Madasi Pa for all that you do, and continue your course, my brother.
Thank you, my brother. Exactly.
Let's not sell short our camera person, which is our son Yao.
Yes.
Madasi, and to
thank you.
Akos and all of those that make this possible.
All right. Okay, everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comments. The link to his website will be in the description. We'll see you next time. We belong in Africa.
This video was brought to you by We Belong in Africa. Please like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring content. Thanks for watching.